This is why many elderly people will not live past 82. If you are old, you need to see this now. Hey there, my friends. Welcome back to the channel, where we talk about living healthier, happier, and longer, especially for those of us in our golden years. I'm so glad you're here today because this video is one of the most important ones I've ever made. If you're over 50, 60, or even in your 70s, or if you got loved ones in that age group, you're going to want to stick around for this one. The title of today's video might sound a little shocking. This is why many elderly people will not live past 82. If you are old, you need to see this now. I know it's a bold statement, but I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to share some honest, heartfelt wisdom from someone who's been around the block a few times. I'm in my late 80s now, and let me tell you, I've learned a thing or two about what keeps us going strong and what can hold us back. Today, I'm going to open up like never before, sharing stories from my life, lessons I've learned, and practical advice that can make all the difference. I want this to feel like we're sitting down together, maybe with a cup of coffee or tea, just having a heart-to-heart about what it takes to live not just longer, but better. We're going to talk about the habits, mindsets, and choices that can either add years to your life or, sadly, cut them short. And don't worry, I'm not just going to throw statistics at you. This is going to be real, relatable, and filled with stories that I hope will inspire you to take action today. So grab a comfy seat, maybe a notebook if you like to jot things down, and let's dive into this. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear understanding of why so many people don't make it past 82, and more importantly, what you can do to beat those odds and live a vibrant, joyful life well into your later years. Let's get started. Part 1. The hard truth about aging. Let me start with a little story. A few years ago, I was at a high school reunion. Yes, even at my age, we still have those. I was catching up with some old friends, folks I hadn't seen in decades. We were laughing, reminiscing about the good old days. But as the night went on, I noticed something. A lot of people there looked tired. Not just, I didn't sleep well last night, tired, but deep down, worn out tired. Some were struggling with health issues, diabetes, heart problems, arthritis. Others just seemed defeated, like they'd given up on dreaming or trying new things. It hit me hard because these were people I used to run around with, full of energy and big plans. That night, I couldn't stop thinking about why some of us were still going strong while others were fading fast. And here's the hard truth I've come to realize. A lot of people don't make it past 82 not because of bad luck or genetics, but because of choices they made or didn't make years earlier. Now, I'm not saying it's all their fault. Life throws curveballs, and aging isn't always easy. But there are patterns I've seen over the years, things that separate those who thrive in their later years from those who don't. Let me walk you through the biggest ones. Part 2. The 5 big reasons people don't live past 82. Reason 1, neglecting physical health. The first reason is something we all know but don't always act on, neglecting our physical health. Your body is like a car. If you don't take care of it, it's not going to last as long as you want it to. I remember my neighbor, Tom, back in the day. Tom was a great guy, always the life of the party. But he never exercised, ate whatever he wanted, think burgers, fries, and soda every day, and smoked like a chimney. By the time he was in his 60s, he was on a dozen medications, had a heart attack, and could barely walk up the stairs. Tom passed away at 78, and it broke my heart because I know he could have had more years if he'd taken better care of himself. Here's the thing. You don't have to be a gym rat or run marathons to stay healthy. Small changes make a huge difference. For example, I started walking 20 minutes a day when I was in my 50s. Nothing fancy, just around the neighborhood. Over time, I noticed I had more energy, my joints felt better, and I slept like a baby. Studies back this up. Regular movement, even just walking, can lower your risk of heart disease, diabetes, and even some cancers. The American Heart Association says 150 minutes of moderate exercise a week. That's about 20 minutes a day, can add years to your life. Another big one is what you put in your body. I'm not going to tell you to give up your favorite foods, but balance is key. My wife and I started swapping out processed snacks for fruits and veggies, and we cut back on red meat a bit. We didn't do it overnight. It was a gradual change. But let me tell you, I feel the difference now in my 80s. If you're not sure where to start, try the Mediterranean diet. It's full of whole foods like fish, nuts, and olive oil, and it's been shown to help you live longer and healthier. Reason 2, ignoring mental health. The second reason people don't make it past 82 is ignoring their mental health. Your mind is just as important as your body, and if you let stress, loneliness, or negativity take over, it can shave years off your life. I'll never forget my old friend Margaret. She was the kindest person, but after her husband passed away, she withdrew from everyone. She stopped going to church, stopped calling her friends, and spent most of her days alone. Over time, she just seemed to lose her spark. She passed away at 80, and I can't help but think loneliness played a big part. Loneliness is a silent killer, especially for us seniors. Research from the National Institute on Aging shows that social isolation can increase your risk of depression, dementia, and even early death. But here's the good news. You can fight it. One thing that's helped me is staying connected. I make it a point to call a friend or family member every week, even if it's just a chat for 10 minutes. I also joined a local book club a few years ago, and let me tell you, those discussions keep my mind sharp and my heart full. Another thing to watch out for is stress. Chronic stress is like poison. It raises your blood pressure, weakens your immune system, and makes everything harder. I've found that simple things like deep breathing or spending a few minutes in prayer or meditation can make a big difference. If you're feeling overwhelmed, don't be afraid to talk to someone, a friend, a pastor, or even a therapist. There's no shame in asking for help. Reason 3, giving up on purpose. The third reason is one that really hits home for me. Giving up on purpose. I've seen so many people retire and then just stop. They stop learning, stop trying new things, stop dreaming. It's like they think their best years are behind them, so why bother? But let me tell you, that mindset is dangerous. Without a sense of purpose, it's easy to slip into apathy or even depression, and that takes a toll on your health. I think about my Uncle Joe, who retired at 65 and decided he was done. He spent his days watching TV, never picked up a hobby, and didn't stay active. By 70, he was a shadow of his former self, and he passed away at 76. Compare that to my friend Clara, who's 85 and still teaching piano to kids in her neighborhood. Clara's got a sparkle in her, because she's got something to get up for every day. Purpose doesn't have to be big or flashy. It could be volunteering at your local food bank, gardening, or even writing letters to your grandkids. For me, starting this YouTube channel has been a game changer. I never thought I'd be talking to thousands of people online at my age, but it gives me a reason to keep learning and sharing. Find something that lights you up, no matter how small it seems, and hold on to it. Reason 4, avoiding doctors and checkups. The fourth reason is avoiding doctors and checkups. I get it. Nobody loves going to the doctor. It's time-consuming, sometimes expensive, and let's be honest, it can be scary to hear what's going on with your body. But skipping those visits can mean missing early warning signs of serious problems. My cousin Ed was stubborn as a mule about this. He hadn't been to a doctor in years, always saying, "I feel fine." By the time he finally went, they found cancer that had spread too far to treat. He was gone at 79. Regular checkups can catch things like high blood pressure, cholesterol, or even cancer early, when they're easier to treat. The CDC recommends annual physicals for seniors, plus screenings like mammograms or colonoscopies, depending on your age and risk factors. I make it a point to see my doctor once a year, even if I feel great. It's like getting an oil change in your car. You do it to keep things running smoothly. And don't be afraid to ask questions or get a second opinion. You're the boss of your health, and a good doctor will respect that. If something feels off, speak up. It could save your life. Reason 5, forgetting to live with joy. Finally, the fifth reason, and this one's close to my heart, is forgetting to live with joy. Life can be tough, especially as we get older. We deal with aches and pains, loss of loved ones, and sometimes just the weight of the world. But if you let go of joy, you're letting go of one of the best medicines out there. Laughter, love, and gratitude aren't just nice-to-haves. They're essential for a long, healthy life. I think about my mom, who lived to 92. Even in her final years, she'd find something to smile about every day. She'd tell silly jokes, sing old songs, or just sit and watch the birds outside her window. She used to say, "You've got to feed your soul, not just your body." And she was right. Studies, like one from Harvard, show that optimism and happiness are linked to lower rates of heart disease and longer lifespans. For me, joy comes from the little things. I love sitting on my porch with a good book, calling my grandkids to hear about their day, or even just watching a funny movie. Find what makes your heart sing and make time for it, even if it's just a few minutes a day. And don't underestimate the power of gratitude. Every night, I think of 3 things I'm thankful for. It could be a warm meal, a kind word from a friend, or just the fact that I woke up this morning. It keeps me grounded and hopeful. Part 3, how to beat the odds. So, we've talked about the 5 big reasons why many people don't live past 82. Neglecting physical health, ignoring mental health, giving up on purpose, avoiding doctors, and forgetting to live with joy. But here's the good news. You have the power to change your story. You don't need to be perfect, and you don't need to overhaul your life overnight. Small, consistent steps can take you further than you ever imagined. Let me share a quick story about my friend Ruth. Ruth was in her late 60s, overweight, and dealing with high blood pressure. She was scared she wouldn't make it to 80. But instead of giving up, she started small. She began walking 10 minutes a day, swapped soda for water, and joined a knitting group to make new friends. 5 years later, she's 74, healthier than ever, and planning a trip to Italy with her knitting buddies. Ruth didn't do anything drastic. She just made small changes and stuck with them. Here's my challenge to you. Pick one thing to work on this week. Maybe it's taking a short walk every day, calling a friend you haven't talked to in a while, or scheduling that overdue doctor's appointment. Start small, but start now. Your future self will thank you. And don't forget to lean on your community. Whether it's family, friends, or your church group, surround yourself with people who lift you up and keep you accountable. If you're watching this and thinking, "I don't know where to start," leave a comment below. Tell me one thing you're going to try, and I'll be cheering you on. This community is here for you. As I wrap up, I want to leave you with a little piece of wisdom that's carried me through all these years. Life is a gift, and every day is a chance to make it better. I know it's not always easy, and there are days when you feel like giving up, but you are stronger than you know, and you have so much to offer the world. Whether you're 50, 60, 70, or beyond, it's never too late to take charge of your health, your happiness, and your future. Thank you for spending this time with me today. It means the world to share these lessons with you, and I hope you found something here that inspires you to take that next step. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up, share it with someone who needs to hear this, and hit that subscribe button so we can keep this conversation going. Let's keep learning, growing, and living with joy together. Until next time, take care of yourself and keep shining. I'll see you in the next video.